What's up YouTube, Simply Unlucky here, and today we'll be doing a Yu-Gi-Oh! Inzektor deck profile for you guys. And I'm going to be doing this video kind of like how I did my 6 Samurai deck profile a while back, so this will be longer than most Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profiles, but I'll be explaining how each card works and how they work together. So if you don't know how an Inzektor deck works, hopefully at the end of this video you'll have a general idea of how the deck actually runs and how it works. So, and then I also want to apologize to you guys for not posting this video immediately after I posted the Extreme Victory and Order of Chaos pack openings, which were my tournament winnings of the tournament that I won this deck with. And that was a 50-person tournament, and the reason why I didn't post this video right away is because I entered another tournament after that, which was a 30-person tournament, and I only got top 4. I didn't actually win the tournament. So, it made me realize that I didn't know enough about the deck to give you actual good deck profile. So what I did is I've been playtesting this deck a lot lately, and I actually came up with some more cards that I think would be good for the deck, but I'm not sure exactly how to combine them in the deck. So I have some cards that I'll show you guys that I think would work good in an Inzektor deck, but I'm also going to be doing the deck profile of the deck, which I won the tournament with, which is right here. I'll also be showing the side deck and the extra deck, of course, too. So you guys be ready for that, and let's get started. I'm going to start by explaining the Inzektor effect that these 3 Inzektor cards have. There's 4 Inzektor cards you play in the deck, which is Inzektor Hornet, Inzektor Centipede, and Inzektor Dragonfly. Hornet is the main card in the deck, but first let me explain the Inzektor effect. So each of these Inzektor cards have an effect that says you can equip one Inzektor card from your hand or graveyard to this card. And so each of these guys has an effect that has to deal with that. But the Inzektor Hornet is the guy that you want to equip to these Inzektor cards, because he has an effect that when he's equipped, it says that you can send this card from the equipped card you have to the graveyard to destroy one card on the field. So you want to get Inzektor Hornet pretty much in your graveyard, and the way you do that is with Armageddon Night and Foolish Burial and some other cards. So if I were to explain how the deck works, let's say I had Inzektor Dragonfly in my hand and I just used maybe a card like Foolish Burial, and Inzektor Hornet is now in the graveyard. So I would summon my Inzektor Dragonfly, and I would use its effect, which says once per turn you can equip one Inzektor card from your hand or graveyard to this card. So I would do that, and then I would use Inzektor Hornet's effect, which says destroy. You can send this card to the graveyard as an equipped spell to destroy one card on the field. So I would destroy maybe my opponent's monster. So then that would go to the grave. Inzektor Dragonfly also has another effect that says when a equipped spell is sent to the graveyard that's equipped to it, or an equipped card, it doesn't have to be in a spell, is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Inzektor from your deck. So then you go and get Centipede, and then you special summon the Centipede with the Dragonfly's effect, and then now you use Centipede's effect, which is the Inzektor effect, which says you can special summon or add one equipped card or one Inzektor card from your hand or graveyard and equip it to it. So you bring back Hornet again and equip it to Centipede, and then you can also use Hornet's effect again and destroy another card on the field. So now you can destroy their trap if you wanted to. So already you've already gotten so many pluses off just playing 2 cards. And that's just already crazy. This is why the deck is so good. And then you can use Inzektor Centipede's effect, which says when an equipped card is sent to the graveyard from being equipped to this, you can add one Inzektor card from your hand, from your deck to your hand. So I would go get maybe Gigamantis. And so Gigamantis' effect is a little different from these guys'. He says that once per turn you can equip one Inzektor card, or with this card, you can equip this card to one Inzektor card, and it gains, or its original attack becomes 2400. So I would just get this card and use its effect to equip it to like Dragonfly. And that's kind of how the deck works. So in one turn, I destroyed 2 cards on the field, 2 of my opponent's cards, and I brought out 3 cards on mine using 2 cards. That's just already amazingly crazy. And Inzektor Gigamantis also has another effect that says when this card is sent to the graveyard from being equipped, you can special summon one Inzektor card from your graveyard to the field. So already amazing. So that's how all the Inzektors work. And so that's the fastest explanation, or easiest explanation I can really give. Of course, you'll have to play the deck to learn it more. But yeah. So Inzektor Hornet is by far the best card in the deck, because his effect is the one that says send this equipped card to the graveyard to destroy one card on the field. And you need to send equipped cards to use these guys' effects. So that's why he is by far the best card in the deck. So that's Inzektor Hornet, and like I said, Inzektor Dragonfly is that when a equipped card is sent to the graveyard from this, special summon another Inzektor. So that's his effect. And Centipedes is the one that adds an Inzektor from your deck to your hand. So that's how the Inzektors work. Hopefully you guys kind of understand. Alright, then there's Armageddon Night. The whole purpose of Armageddon Night is to put Inzektor Hornet in the graveyard from your deck. Because, like I said, you need to use Inzektor Hornet, or bring back Inzektor Hornet with your other Inzektor's effects. So that's why Armageddon Night's in the deck. And then I play Mystic Tomato to bring out maybe an Inzektor or Armageddon Night. That's usually why I play that, or what I would get with Mystic Tomato's effect. Then I also have Effect Veilers in the deck, and that's to stop my opponent, or I can summon it and use it as a tuner. This is why Effect Veiler is probably one of the better cards in the game. And a lot of people, it should be in a lot of decks. And Thunder King. Thunder King isn't in every deck, but it is a good card, and I play it because it's a light, because I want to be able to play my Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning. And so Thunder King is an extremely good light card to play. By light, I mean light attribute, obviously. And yeah, it's basically why I play it. It also stops my opponent, and Thunder King pretty much forces your opponent to use a card to kill it. Because they don't just have random cards that can just run over it, because they would need to special summon first. And Thunder King can negate a special summon. So pretty much Thunder King is just a very good card that makes your opponent kill it. That's the whole point. And so once I have a light and dark in the grave, everyone knows that this guy can come out. And this, I would say, is probably the best monster in the game, just because of how, amazing it is. And if you guys don't know what he does, he attacks twice, and you have to, in order to special summon, you have to remove a light and dark in the grave, obviously. And you can attack twice if he destroys a monster. He can attack again. Or you can just remove one card on the field, or one monster on the field, so it can be face down or face up, and you remove it from the game. But if you do that, he cannot attack. But he's just a really amazing card, and it works amazingly in this deck. And of course, there's Dark Arm Dragon, which is also another amazing card. And you need 3 darks to special summon Dark Arm Dragon, and then you can remove 1 dark from your grave to destroy 1 card on the field. Very good card. And so there's those cards, and then there's Gores. I'm debating on really playing Gores, but Gores is a very good card, and if you take direct damage from an attack and have no cards on your side of the field, you can special summon Gores from your hand, and you can special summon a token equal to the attack damage from the direct attack that you took. So it's just a pretty good card. You can also special summon it another way, but that's usually not how you special summon it. But yeah, Gores is a pretty good card. And if you have an Effect Veiler, you can summon the Effect Veiler and Synchro Summon for an 8-star, because Gores is 7, and the token's also 7. So, just another cool way on how that works. And so that's the monsters that I played in the tournament that I won. So, it was pretty consistent. It just helped me get my Inzektors out pretty quick and got a lot of cards to the grave. But I also had some troubles, and I would run into not actually drawing an Inzektor card. And that actually got me in some trouble, and I actually lost a couple games. And that's why eventually I actually lost that 30-person tournament, was because I couldn't draw an Inzektor card. So, just, of course, you could call it bad hands or bad luck, but I think maybe I could change the deck a little bit to make it so it's a little more consistent on bringing out the Inzektor cards. Okay, so traps. I played Mirror Force and Torrential, which are probably, you could say they're the main staples, but I would say these cards aren't technically needed in the deck. They just give you field control, and you want to be careful with Torrential because you are playing a lot of monsters, but because it destroys all monsters in the field. And then Mirror Force, of course, is just one of the best defensive cards in the game, because it says when your opponent attacks the face-up monster, destroy all their face-up monsters, face-up attack position monsters. So, both very good cards, and just give you field advantage. The Solemn Trio, most people know what it does, but Solemn Judgment negates any card, and you have to pay half your life points to do it though. Solemn Warnings I just play because I don't want to let my opponent get out their combos, and pretty much that's why I play it, so that I can negate their monsters. So it negates the summon of one of their monsters by paying 2,000. That's why I play that. Starlight Road, it's a dead card sometimes, but you can use it against Dark Hole and Heavy Storm because they're destroying more than 2 cards. And then of course you get to bring out a Stardust, just one of the best pluses a card could give you. So I enjoy using it. And then Allure, because you're playing a lot of darks, so you remove a dark, draw 2 more cards. Very good. Monster Born, amazing card. Book of Moon, an extremely good card, and I'm glad it's at 1 because it is really good. And then Dark Hole, to just destroy all my opponent's monsters. Maybe destroy mine, but then summon again because it's my turn, so it's not that bad. So yeah, Dark Hole is a very good card. Mind Control to exceed, or just to take one of my opponent's monsters that he could use against me at the moment. So I think Mind Control is a very good card. Foolish Burial, I play to put Inzektor Hornet in the grave and then use another Inzektor monster's effect to bring it back as an equip card. So that's why I play Foolish Burial. Creature Swap, because it was kind of just my tech card that I wanted to play. Truthfully, I don't know if it could really, it doesn't really need to be in the deck at all, but I liked creature swapping my Mystic Tomato every now and then, which was really fun. So yeah, like I said, my local tournaments are usually not too competitive. You know, there's a lot of good people there that have won regionals and stuff, but they're just, you know, it's always fun to play some fun cards you want to add to your deck. So I think Creature Swap would be one of those fun cards. Of course, Heavy Storm. And I played 3 MSTs because I just felt that killing my opponent's traps was just so, like, I really needed to destroy my opponent's trap before summoning my Inzektor cards, because then I could destroy as many monsters as I wanted once I got my Inzektors out there. So yeah, I got rid of so many Solemn Warnings with these, but I don't know if you'd want to play 3. I'd say at least 2, though, you should play in your deck. And then, of course, I played Pod Duality just to make my hands a little better and so I had a little more choice in what happened. And yeah, Pod Duality is an amazing card. Too bad you can't special summon the turn you use it. I'm actually debating on using another Pod Duality. I think I might. So, but remember, this is the deck that I won the 50-person tournament, and I also have some cards that I want to show you that I think would also work good in the deck. So, here are the cards that I think would work good in the deck that I don't actually have in the deck. So, another Light. And because Lila also sends cards to the grave at the end of the turn, and she can destroy a trap, and she's a Light. So, I think that this would be a very important card in the deck, and it also would force your opponent to kind of use a card on it, or either way, it's kind of a one-for-one card, kind of like Thunder King. So I was debating on maybe playing one of these with maybe a charge of the Light Brigade or whatever to make the deck a little more consistent with lights. So there's that. And Card Trooper, I was thinking about Card Trooper because it's like Lila in the way that it sends cards to the grave, and so it could put your Hornet or Inzektor cards in the grave to use them for your other Inzektor cards. So I think it would be good like that, and also, of course, when it's destroyed, you can draw a card. So I do like Card Trooper. And Blackwing Zephyros. I was thinking he'd be a fun card to play in the deck, is because you can use Armageddon Night's effect, and you can send a Dark from your deck to the graveyard, so you can send Zephyros, and then you can use Zephyros' effect to bring him back to the field by bouncing Armageddon Night to your hand, so it's just a free monster. And I just think that combo is pretty fun, and then also you can maybe use an Exceed with Zephyros if you use it at a certain time or something like that, and you could Exceed or Exceeds for a 4 rank Exceed monster, so that would be fun. So yeah, that's why I was thinking Zephyros. Thunder King, I was just debating on playing another Thunder King for more lights. And Doomdozer, just for more damage. I really don't think I'd want to play Doomdozer in the deck, just because it could be really inconsistent at sometimes. I was debating on playing a couple Tour Guides and Sankan, but I'm not really sure how that would work in the deck, so I was going to test it a little more. So I want to figure that one out. And Forbidden Chalice to negate my opponent's cards. And Call to Haunted, maybe play a couple of those to bring back my Inzektor cards when they're in the grave. That could always be fun. Or Forbidden Chalice doesn't negate your opponent's cards, but it just makes your monsters unaffected by spells or traps. So your opponent's cards that you're using to destroy my cards are not going to work. And then Plague Spreader, because I'm putting a lot of cards in the grave, so maybe if I want to Synchro Summon real quick, Plague would be a good way to do that. And then there's the other Pod Duality I was debating on using. So by test playing a lot these past few days, these were the cards I was kind of thinking of playing in the Inzektor deck, but were not in the deck at the moment when I was playing it in the 50-person tournament that I won. Because this is the actual deck profile of the 50-person tournament. So yes, Inzektor is a very fun deck. And here, let me show you my extra deck. So this is the extra deck I had during the tournament, but this deck is not right. This extra deck, you should have a couple more cards in here. I played Khmer Tech Fortress Dragon to stop Car Curries, but you can also side deck this card. And then a couple number 17 Leviathan Dragons, along with 1 Leviair and 2 Utopias, and a Steel Storm Roach. I'm not really going to explain what these do, but yeah. Armory Arm, because I could get it out with a Effect Veiler with a 3-star. Catastor, of course. Brionic. And Ancient Fairy Dragon, destroy those field spells. Black Rose Dragon, destroy the field, obviously. Stardust to get out with Starlight Road. And a couple 8-stars, just in case they can be useful at the moment. I can bring them out with like Effect Veiler and Gores or some other way. So just fun cards to use. And what I was missing, of course, which is obvious, is wind up Zen mains. And I actually would have won a game that I lost in my 30-person tournament that I entered with this deck. So Zen mains, I think, is probably almost required for an Inzektor deck. It's not required, but it's just a really good card that you should have for the deck. So I'm going to try to get my hands on a Zen main soon. And so I need a Zen Mains in here along with a Giga Brilliant. It's a 3 rank monster. It's an Exceed monster. And so yeah, Giga Brilliant is a light 3-star or 3 rank Exceed monster or Xyz monster. So you would want to play that to maybe help you get out Chaos Envoy of the beginning. Or not Chaos, but Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the beginning. So yeah, you would want to play that too. So those 2 cards I think should be in the deck that I do not have at the moment. Yeah, Zen Mains is like a $100 card, something crazy right now, so I do not have him, but I will try to get one. Okay, now this is not an actual 50 card side deck, but I usually watch or see who's in the tournament, and before I enter the tournament, I get kind of like a 15 card side deck out of these cards. So I'll explain why I play each of them though. Cyber Dragon, I play against Car Curries, or maybe I want to side it in for a light. Neospatian Grand Mole is extremely good against windups, I think, just because they have so many exceeds, so you can just bounce them back, and even though they can keep creating them, it slows them down, I think, a little bit. And DD Crow is also good against windups a little bit, but mainly against Dark Worlds, and also Mirror Match. You can remove their Hornets from the game, their Inzektor Hornet, when they try to use it or bring it back. Bottomless Trap Hole against those Dark World decks, along with windups it could work against too, and even Inzektors, it could remove a couple of those guys, but I don't think I'd side against Inzektors. And Dimensional Prison, I would definitely side in against the Dark World decks to remove their monsters from the game, and even windups it could work against. And Chain Disappearance is definitely to counter the Mirror Match, counter Inzektors, because this will remove the Hornet from the game in their deck, or even their Dragonfly. Extremely good card against Inzektors. And this also makes me want to side deck in Royal Decree against some decks, because Royal Decree will counter your opponent when you side it in with your Inzektor deck. It can counter all your opponent's traps that they're putting in to counter your Inzektor deck. So Chain Disappearance, though, very good against Inzektors. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, this works against Gravekeepers, Dark Worlds, anything that requires dark monsters, but it also works against your Inzektors, so you got to be careful using it. So I didn't have that in my side deck when I played my Inzektor deck. And then Light Imprisoning Mirror for Lightsworn. And Black Horn of Heavens were fun against windups. I don't know if I'd really play this card that much, but against windups it stopped them. And then Royal Decrees just to stop any sort of burn control decks, or maybe even a deck that is siding in a lot of traps to stop your Inzektor deck. So you want to side in Royal Decrees. So that's the side deck. And overall, that is my Inzektor deck. So like I said, this was the deck that I won the 50-person tournament with, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it and kind of get the gist of how Inzektors work. And then just some other cards that I thought would work good in the deck that I did not have in the deck at the time. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Remember to subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and Simply Unlucky signing out.